Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to another tutorial in this Django and React tutorial series. And in this video, we are finally going to deploy our backend application first. And in our next video, we'll deploy the front end. So let's get started. On the backend, first, we'll create a GitHub repository. Let me open GitHub real quick. And then we'll create a new repo, and we're going to say AI music. We'll just say AI music. We'll create the repo, and we'll copy this particular link over here. And we're going to say, let's see if we're in the right directory. CD music, ls. Yeah, I think that should be good. So let's try. We'll just say git init. We'll initialize it first. We'll say git remote add origin and paste the link over there. And we'll say git status and we'll add all of that. We'll do our first commit. We'll say initial commit git push origin development. And that should send our code to our GitHub. There we go. We have all that. Next, what we need to do is we'll need to make sure our secret key is safe. So we'll go to the settings and we are going to get this code out of here, and we'll say os.get env secret key. Sorry, my spelling is wrong over there. We'll say fallback secret key if not set. And we're also going to import OS over here. Okay, that should do it. At the same time, we are going to set our let me just put this right here, new file .env. I'll paste it over here. And again, on the settings, we're going to cut this Gemini API key. This is also to remain secret. And we'll say os.get env fallback Gemini key if not set. Okay, so we'll take care of making sure that these API keys are set in our Heroku server. So we'll do that later. And one more thing that we need to do is the debug. We'll just say os.get environment. We're going to get from the environment variable as well whether our program is in debug mode or not. The default is false here. If not, then we'll set it to true. And let's see, let's also add these Django specified SSL redirects and SSL seconds so that we have a secure request. Next, we are going to install these packages. We'll install Unicorn, we'll install DJ database URL, and we don't need white noise because we are not using any static files, but let's go ahead and install the psychopg2 binary. So these are all the packages that we need in order to deploy and make sure our database are up to date with our Heroku. So we haven't created the Heroku app yet. So before that, let's add these two middleware, which is the Django middleware, security middleware, which we already have. And the white noise, we don't need that. Okay, I think we should be good with that. Now in our database, what we're going to do is we're going to import DZ database URL. And recently, Heroku has called off their free tier for the Postgres database. So you guys might want to check the pricing options and make sure that it's not overcharging you guys. And I do have a paid version of database used from Heroku. So it's like certain cents per certain request or something like that. So make sure before you decide on anything. We'll say connection max age is 600. Okay, that should be good. Now we're going to create a runtime file. Inside of the music directory, we'll say runtime.txt. And I've been using 3.12.4, so make sure whatever Python version you have to include that. And in our requirements.txt, or requirements.txt, okay. We will add these Django, REST framework, simple JWT. We are not using that right now. Extra fields, we're not using that either. Django Heroku, we might use it. Unicorn, course header, pillow, we're not using pillow. And I think these are the packages that we need for this application, so we should be good. Let's also create a proc file. This is a Heroku file to make sure that Heroku understands what we're doing. And let me just copy and paste this template right here. And in here, your project name, which is music.wsgi. So it's going to read this file here inside this directory, wsgi. And once we have that, you need to install the Heroku CLI, which I've already installed. So go ahead and make sure you have Heroku CLI on your computer. Once we have that, we can start the deployment process. So we'll say Heroku login first to make sure we're logged in. It's going to prompt me to log in my browser if not. Okay, press any key to open up the browser. Don't just press Q. And let's log in. Okay, this is a mess. I don't know what my password is. Or do I? I do. It's asking for a verification code. I do have a two-factor authentication set up. So give me just a second while I look for the code. And Heroku 953. Okay, we're verified. We can close this browser and then go back to here. Okay, we're logged in. Now will Heroku create our application? We'll say music if it's available. Let's see. It says name music already taken. Let's say music. Okay, that's a unique name. And we will say git remote add Heroku git.heroku.com / our app name is music.get. The URL is right here if you need to get a reference. So we'll just press enter. It says Heroku already exists. Let's just check. Yeah, so we have Heroku, that is for the Heroku source control. Origin is for our GitHub. Now let's set our environment variables. We'll say Heroku config set. We're going to set our secret key first, equals, let me just copy and paste this whole thing. Was unexpected at this time. Okay, I don't know why it's not working. Unexpected token. Is it a double quotation? Okay, it's not working. Well, let's config debug first. There's another way we can do this, so I'll teach you guys how to do that as well. We'll say debug equals false. If this works. Okay, this is setting our environment variables. Let's just go to Heroku and make sure we are good here. And let me check for my dashboard. I don't want to go in the settings. Okay, I'm in the dashboard. And what's the application? Music right here. So once we're here, let's go to settings, reveal config vars. So we'll just say secret key, and we'll copy and paste our secret key over here. And we don't need that quotation. And we'll add that, and we'll say Gemini API key, and we'll add that one as well. Make sure, guys, nobody gets access to this keys, because with these, people can hack into your server, into your website, and we don't know what's going to happen after that. Okay, I think we're pretty much ready to deploy our application. You can deploy it using CLI, but let's just try to do it using the website itself. And first, let's push this. Okay, we can remove the env file, and we'll git add, git commit, deploy ready, git push origin development. Okay, once our GitHub is up to date with the latest code, we'll just say connect to GitHub, and it should probably give you or ask you to sign in with your GitHub, which I've already done. So I'm going to look for my repo, search, music, search. Okay, we'll say AI. Okay, AI music. We'll connect this. So once we have that, we're going to have to select a branch, which is we have pushed to the development branch. So we'll deploy branch. And let's see if we run into any issues from here. Okay, we're getting an error here, which says default dictionary in line 86. So let's check that. What's wrong here? Line 86, that's what's wrong. Let me make sure that we're using correct configuration. Database. Okay, let me just copy and paste this. Yeah, I think we can set our original database to be whatever it was, and then we'll just copy and paste this right here. And we can cancel that one. So let's git add, git commit, changed db config, git push origin development. So it's normal to get errors while we're deploying because we really don't check all the things that we need to do in order to deploy it. So let's hope this time it works. And it was throwing some error regarding collect static, so we might have to take a look at that as well. But since we don't have any static files, that shouldn't really be an issue, but let's just see what it shows. Okay, one more error. Okay, static root. Just to be safe, guys, let's give our static files their proper place. Static URL will say static root os.path.join base directory static files. Static files directory is, yeah, that should do it, guys. Git add, git commit, static git push origin development. Okay, let's try it one more time. If it gives us the error, we're gonna do the Heroku collect static command that we haven't done yet. I had hoped that it would not require us to do that, but let's just see what error we run into if we do. This is the point where it breaks or not. It did find our static files compressing, so I don't think we're getting any error. Let's hope not. And we're going to get one more error since it's working. Let's just copy our URL first, and I'll show you what error we'll get. Looks like our application has been deployed and we're getting a 400 bad request from the top. And you guys want to know what the mistake over here is? Not the mistake, but a step that we skipped is we didn't add our URL in allowed host. This is a really important step. So once we do that, we'll say git add, git commit, added host, git push origin development. Okay, now we can go ahead and run that deployment again. This time it should work. And since the debug is true, is false in production, so we're not getting that Django error that we used to get. So that's how it handles it. And let's see what happens this time. See, it has already installed all those packages that we had in our requirements.txt. So it will skip that process and instead check for any of the new updates that we're sending out, which is updating the allowed host. Okay, it says done, so let's take a look at it. Again, we're getting a bad request. Let's go over to the network. It says bad request, I don't know why. Request method get. Let's go to the admin. Let's set it to true. Sorry. Edit to see what's really the error here. Should be working now. Okay, it says invalid host. You may need to add to allowed host, which is what we exactly did here. Oh, I think the HTTPS is kind of causing the issue here. These kind of small mistakes, they do happen a lot. But you saw it, guys, like how easy was it to switch between the environment variables that we had right here, so we could actually see what's the error going. So that's a really good practice. You don't have to go in the code itself and change it all the time if you have to make any changes or see what's the error. Okay, I think we don't have any typos here, so it says music.herokuapp.com. It's looking good. Let's hope it works this time. It says deployed. Finalize it so we can make sure. Okay, let's reload it. Okay, it's working, guys. So we'll set the debug to be false so that we don't want users to get access to all the debug information, you know. So we'll set it to false, save changes, and it will just say not found. Okay, that's good. Now we'll go to API because we know what's the URL. We'll say recommendations, server error, because we haven't run our migrations on the server. So we'll say Heroku run python manage.py make migrations. Okay, now we'll run migrate. That should migrate all our database. And while we're at it, let's also create a super user so that we're able to access the admin panel as well. Okay, it's taking some time. Let's just wait. It's connecting. Okay, we'll just say admin if it allows us to do it. Now you have a deployed app, so you can be playing around with your password. Make sure you have a strong password. It says super user created successfully. So we'll go ahead and test it out. Okay, our static files are not loading, but that's okay. I didn't realize the Django REST framework had static files. Okay, let's fix that as well. We'll just say Heroku run python manage.py collect static. And this should fix that. We'll say yes. Unmodified. So maybe it's not gonna work. We'll take care of that later. But let's go to admin panel. Okay, even the admin static files are not loading. Wow. But we don't really have to worry because these are the APIs and we don't need to worry about that. So as long as the functionality is working, we should be good. Let's just add our theme first. We'll add a theme saying dark, dark, save. And we don't even need to do that. We can just, okay, yeah, let's just do that first. Right now, let's just make sure we have something going in our database. Mac, Miller, Mac, 2020, 0223, dark, whatever URL, save it. So we have a Mac Miller with the recommendations. We have all the information. So our backend has been hosted and the static files have not. Well, this is a progress. We'll see if we can fix this, but in our next video, we're going to deploy our front end. So up until now, we did a lot of steps. So if you ran into any issues, let me know in the comment section below. If not, I'll see you guys on the next one. Thank you.